Welcome to this finals edition of South East Super League TV, proudly brought to you by Horn Industrial Coatings. I'm your host, Tristan Blacker, and joined by Dale Taylor. Mate, thanks for coming. Well, thanks for hosting. We're in Taylor.
You're actually at my house.
We're at Taylor Teamwear headquarters.
Yeah, this is where it all happens.
It is now. We've been absent for a couple of weeks, so I guess first and foremost we apologise to all our fans, members. I call them fans, but yeah, it's been pretty hectic over the last couple of weeks with finals and coming into the Christmas period. So we do apologise, but we're here to dissect the 3 games that we have tomorrow night at Super League Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely, and like what a few cracking games we've got coming up. It's going to be amazing. Yeah,
well, I mean, we can see behind us here the 6 teams that are going to be representing the grand finals tomorrow, and you know, there's from each division, there's some teams that have really just torn it apart all season, but I don't even know who's going to win. Like, it's going to be that close.
I think in each game, like there's no real standout. Even though you got the Ducks who haven't lost a game yet, they've come close quite a few times. So
yeah,
I don't think there's any real shoe-in for a winner in any game. So I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, well, that's it. And I mean, let's I guess go through each game and each team and dissect it and see what we can kind of come up with and see if we can work out a winner.
Yeah. Well, the first game's obviously the domestic game at 5 PM tomorrow. Get down for a look. It's going to be a wicked game. You got the Dandenong Ducks taking on the Merrinell Matadors.
Correct.
Dandy Ducks obviously being undefeated throughout the whole season. But yeah, like we said earlier, it's been close. They've had a few scares.
Yeah, they have, and they're obviously, like you said, taking on the Matadors, and they finished second. But these guys only played each other in the last round.
Yeah, and again, like a really close game, and they played them without, you know, Hayden Melson, who was someone that they'd relied on earlier on in the season for that scoring punch.
Yeah, correct.
So to take them on later on in the season and get close without him, it's got to be reassuring for the Matadors.
From memory, it was 1 point, so it went right down to the wire.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
this for me, not to discredit the girls' competition or the elite competition, but this for me is the game of the final series. Yeah, I think this will be the closest. I think this will be the most exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, you got 2 different teams. They get it done differently, and it's going to be interesting to see who brings it the most to get the win in this game.
Yeah, correct. And it's interesting to see, you know, 2 different GMs. You know what I mean? Like we've always discussed, you know, and with the GMs, how difficult it is to pick a team.
Yeah. And
you know, based off, you know, Liam GMing the Matadors, he goes, I felt quite confident coming into my second season, knowing who to get and knowing what to do. But then you look at Matty B, who's doing it for the first time, and he was cracking it at that draft. Yeah. He's going, oh, I've missed him, or I didn't get him. And you look at who he ended up drafting, and he's got this super team. Yeah,
well, if you look at both of those teams, actually, they're both teams that did well later on in the draft. And I think that's probably key in this Super League format is to get your good players early, but also pick up a couple of real good gems later on in the draft.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, and I think Hayden Melson really stands out for me. Like, if he didn't break his arm, he probably would have led the league in scoring.
Yeah, I think
so at a sixth round pick.
Yeah. And then you got Kurt Lazaro for the Ducks as well, who's really stood out for them. And
another player of the week, you know. So
yeah,
it's big. Now, touching on the screen behind us, what do the Matadors need to do to win the game?
Well, I think the first one is no secret. You got to limit the transition buckets.
Yeah.
The Ducks have been really solid in transition all year round. So they've had, you know, Joey and Trav, Kurt, Aga, who can all run the floor really well. And I think limiting that is going to be step one in making sure that they try and compete in this game.
Yeah, like I completely agree. Like if you speak to the Ducks, I think they feel they've got a lot more to their game than transition buckets, and rightfully so. But I 100% agree with you. Their transition basketball.
It's what separated them from the rest. I think,
That's it. And you look at games where Killer Kurt and Joey were dropping 20 points apiece, just running the floor.
Yeah,
you know, it's huge.
It's the difference between winning and losing. So. The other one, I mean, obviously they've got to play within their strengths as well, the Matadors. So they shoot the 3-ball really well.
Yep.
They don't really have much of a presence inside. They've just got the one big in Lockie McKelvey.
Yeah.
Who's been really solid for them this season. But I think movement around the perimeter, getting each other open shots is going to be key for them.
It is, and I mean, you know, Leon's his basketball royalty within, you know, the Pakenham region, and so everyone knows what he's capable of. And that's like he's a big game player. Do you know what I mean? Like, expect him to have an absolute day out.
Yeah, and for the Ducks, you've really got to guard him all game long. Like, he can't let up.
Well, that's exactly what happened when they played him the first time. You know, Rob Middleton and Leon were relatively quiet by their standards in the first half. Come the second, they were just knocking shots from everywhere. It was,
and that's the thing with good shooters like that.
Yeah,
they can be quiet for a half or 3/4, and then just light it up in you know, a space of 5 minutes.
Yeah, correct.
I suppose the last key for the Matadors would be rebounding. I mean, we just touched on that they've only got the one big guy in Lockie McKelvey.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to need to chip in and rebound the ball.
Yeah, correct. And I mean, led with the Ducks by Morseman, but you got Drizzy, who's a big boy. He can rebound. Mick, he'll be pulling down big boards as well. You know, plus Matty B. So you're right. That's 4 dudes that rebound the ball very consistently for the Ducks. Yeah,
putting a halt to that, or at least sort of minimising, you know, the rebounding deficit will be a big thing for the Matadors as well. For the Ducks, obviously push the pace. It's what they've been doing well. We touched on that just before. What else we got there? Get all the way to the hoop. So
yeah,
they shoot the ball well from the perimeter, the Ducks, but also without that presence inside, without the real shot blocker there, I think driving to the basket is going to be a really solid option for them.
Yeah, and I think Morseman's really stepped up in the last couple of weeks in that regard. You know what I mean? Like,
he smashed the reefers.
Yeah,
he was pulling up for backboard jumpers and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and that's a big key to that team. You know what I mean? Like, Morseman's been serviceable all season, but this last 3 weeks, for me personally, watching, he's really turned it on.
Yeah, I think so too. He's playing with a bit more energy, and it really shows.
It's a bit scary, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, outside of that, stop the Matador shooting, as we kind of alluded to before. Like, those guys can shoot.
You got to guard them for 40 minutes. That's what you got to do.
You know, especially Rob. He had a 9 of 16 game a couple of weeks ago, shooting the 3-ball at 56%. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, outside of that,
who you got?
I chose a team at the start of the season, and I'm going to stick with it, which is the Matadors. I think they can win the grand final. I think they're capable of winning the grand final, but it will be very, very, very close.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the Matadors have a really solid chance, but I mean, I've got to go with the Ducks. They've been proven all season. They haven't lost a game. We faced off against them twice late in the season, and they got us, you know, in close games, but I think they'll just be too good on the day.
Yeah, I would probably. Oh, no, I'm still going to stick with the Ducks. The Matadors, sorry. Yeah, they'll get there. They'll get there, led by Liam.
He needs a big one, actually.
He does. Well, touching on having a big one, we have a best on court award for the grand final. Throw a name at me.
I've got to go with Trav Blackney.
Yeah.
He's been so solid on defense all season, and as well as, you know, chipping in 15 points a game sort of thing offensively. I think he's going to be massive in this game. Oh,
I get nervous just watching him. Like, I'd hate to be dribbling the ball around him.
I'm not a fan.
You know, he's just on his toes constantly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think if the Ducks do get up, he's one that can definitely win it. For me, you know, believing that the Matadors can win, I actually think it comes down to probably Leon Stapley or Liam Blacker.
Yeah.
You know, they're 2 guys that have to have really big games to get the win. Liam's shooting has been off. He's been putting up a lot of easy looks and missing. And that's the difference to them winning, I think, because he's been shooting the ball quite low, but his rebounding's quite well. He steals, blocks. He's a
hustle player.
He's kind of a bit of a Trav Blackney mould as well. But I think, if he does okay, he's a chance. But, you know, Leon Stapley, if they win, it's because he's knocked a million
solid
threes.
pick, isn't it? Yeah.
So
it's a pretty safe bet. It's like going to the pub and ordering a Palmer.
Leon Palmer Stapley. Now, moving on to the second game.
Yeah. So the second game
is the girls.
Yep.
Nurry Silverbacks versus the Kurup Koalas.
Yeah, the two standouts early on in the season anyway, with the Bears sort of making that late charge, and they were a team that I thought might have even been in the grand final, but I don't know which one of these teams you kick out. They've both been really solid all season long.
Yeah, you've probably had the big three has been the Bears, the Silverbacks, and the Koalas.
Yeah.
But as you said, you can only have two, and this is who we have. Unfortunately for the Koalas, they're going to be a little bit depleted as well. Similar to the Matadors, they're not going to have their GM Shannon Patterson, who's obviously a little crook and is going to miss out on some basketball for the rest of the year. But I think because of that, the Silverbacks for me will get it done.
Okay. Well, I mean, the Koalas have got a really deep team as well. Like they're one of those teams we spoke about it earlier. You do well late in the draft, you end up with a really good Super League team.
Yeah,
and they did. They got the likes of Kate Spezza and Kate Zemenick.
Yeah, correct. Two young girls that have had a crack in Super League and
done really well.
Have been fantastic. Yeah, correct. One thing the Koalas have done, they've actually broken Super League history, or one of their players has, in Ali Coots.
Oh, yes.
She was the first Super League player to get a triple-double.
That's crazy, isn't it? She
just tore it apart. And mind you, at half-time of the semi-final, she had 11, 9 and 7.
Wow.
So, I mean, if there's the opportunity there. Like, if she can get off the chain and have a massive game, it goes a long way for the Koalas to win it.
Yeah.
But I just think with Steph Powell, Bridget Deary, Grace Watson, their big three leading the charge, they're just going to be too tough to beat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got Keely on the Koalas. If she has a big night, I think that's actually probably one of the keys of the game. Silverbacks really need to limit that perimeter shooting. Because she can go for 20 points in a heartbeat. So
easy. Yeah, Keely can very much shoot the hell out of the ball. So.
Yeah, so you want to stop that if you're the Silverbacks, and really play to your strengths in that you got probably the best big in the league in Steph Powell. Pound the paint.
Yeah.
Get into the post. Get your points inside. Goes a long way to get the win.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, especially with Steph, but at the 5. But you've also got Bridget Deary at the 4 as well, who's super clever. She can create space. She can knock a really defend a jump shot. So yeah, like if you are the Silverbacks, that's where you play to your strengths, and that's where you're going to get a lot of points.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the Koalas, try and contain Steph Powell. Keep it to sort of 10 points or less would be a really solid start. I don't know how you do that, but
yeah, well that's it. You just kind of got to hope that look. There's actually a little bit of a bet going on with this game as well. Just to touch on for all the members and fans. If the Silverbacks, Steph Powell gets a triple-double, I actually have to shave my beard. I don't know how I got roped into that. It's taken me 32 years to grow it, but Steph's just fallen short a couple of times. So yeah, if she gets a triple-double, I've lost it. If the Koalas win, if they upset the Silverbacks, Braden Venning has to shave his beard.
Oh, that's huge.
That's massive.
I can't imagine what he'd look like without it.
There's a certain few terms going around of what he looks like without the beard. We probably won't say it on Super League TV, but get around that. Yeah, so get around the Koalas to try and knock off the Silverbacks.
I reckon it's going to look like a wiggle.
So I think scrotum was the term that was used.
Oh golly.
So, but outside of that, just defensive pressure for the Koalas. I think
they've got some really good defenders on the Koalas, and putting them to work is going to be a big part.
Yeah, and they've got a really deep side as well. Though, like Danny Dodos can play. The two Kates have been just working their ass off. Helen Belton has been huge for them as well. Just solid the leadership,
presence,
can play the game. So It's going to be a very much a team effort for.
Well, just actually on Helen, she's a coach at a high level, isn't she? So Well, she has coached at a high level. So having that sort of IQ in your game is going to be really beneficial, especially in big games like this.
Oh, that's it. I mean, we touched on blokes like Leon, and it's no different in the girls' competition either. So I think Helen will bring a lot to the table come tomorrow night.
Yeah. Who you got?
I'll go with the Silverbacks. Yeah, Silverbacks. With Steph having an average game.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I hope.
Well, I'm going to have to go with the Koalas then.
Yep. Because you want to see Braden naked.
I want to see his nude little face.
Best on court?
Well, if the Koalas get up, I think it's got to be Ali Coots.
Yeah.
She's got to have a big game for him to get up, and if she does, well, that'll be awesome.
I'll go Koalas get up. I will go with Keeley, my favourite Patterson, to get the best on court.
Yeah.
And if the Silverbacks get up, I'll go Bridge Deary. I think she'll be the difference.
I think you'd have to go with the favourite, surely, if the Silverbacks get up.
I'm not talking Steph Pell into a good game at all, so I'll go with Bridge.
Steph Pell gets a triple-double and player of the game.
Not happening. Last game.
Last game, yeah.
The Elite Boys.
This is going to be another cracker, I think. So you got the Gembrook Pacers, who again were the standouts this season, and they were the standouts in the previous season as well.
Yep.
They've done well again, and they're going to be taking on the Lakeside Vikings.
Yeah, and Nancy Wiedemann leading the Pacers first time. He's drafted really well.
He drafted so well. I don't know how some of those players slipped down to him, but he's done really well with it, and it shows obviously in their record.
Yeah, it does, and I think it's probably hard, as much as I think we touched on it once before, that the likes of Simo, these guys just killing it. Do you know what I mean? He comes in like a third or fourth pick, and he's just player of the week and all those types of things. So, and then Bailey Beck, the last round pick, he's just killing them as well. So, this is gonna be a tough one. Not to discredit the Vikings either, because they have a really solid side, especially with that pretty boy and Brad Zarlik, missing a few and coming back now. He's going to be influential in them getting a win.
Well, he's been missing for a large part of the season. Like, he only played a few games, and for him to be stepping in at the right time is going to be crucial for them. But they've got so many other guys on that team that can get it done, like Ozzy and Baz and Greg. Like all those guys can really put up points on their given night. So it's going to be interesting to see what sort of game we get with this one.
And for the the Vikings themselves, what do they need to do to get over the line?
Well, I think you've again got to stop someone like Simo and Ned Cody. You got to really put the clamps on them to try and stop 2 out of 3 of those guys having a big night. I don't think you can stop them all, but if you can stop 2 out of 3, that goes a long way.
Yeah, you look at that side, and you mentioned those players. If you can negate Simo from knocking threes, then you've got to try and stop Cody and Ned from driving. The Vikings have to play their best one-on-one defense for 40 minutes.
When you look at it, I mean, they've probably got two of the more premier defensive players in the league in Brad Zarlik and Mike Godfrey.
Yeah.
So they've got the brass to do it.
It's whether they can do it for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then obviously Dill Larkin.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got to have a big game. That's no question. But I mean, he's been putting up big games all season, so I doubt Sunday is going to be any different for him.
Yeah, and he's someone probably along with Baz as well that just want to dominate inside. Yeah. Like written down behind us, the Pacers aren't the biggest side. You've got Simo and probably Dill Donnelly are your 2 bigger bodies, but to try and mix it up against the Vikings, it's going to be really tough. So if the Vikings can really dominate the paint, I think it'll go a long way to them winning. Yeah,
it's strange. In all 3 of these games, you got 2 teams that get it done so differently, and it's going to be who does it better on the night, I think.
Yeah.
For me, I think in this game, I'm going to go with the Vikings. I reckon they can get it done. They beat the Silverbacks in overtime, which are one of the league's best teams. Yeah. And I think that, like I said, they've got the talent to do it. It's just whether they turn up offensively enough.
Yeah, I think they can definitely do it. You know, it's going to be a hell of a lot closer than probably the last couple of months of Pacers games. They've done it quite convincingly throughout the season, but it is a grand final, and it will be really close. But for the Pacers, they've just got to drive the lanes. They've just got to keep playing to their strengths. Running transition buckets, attacking, and trying to get to the line as much as they can.
Well, they've got Cody and Ned who are excellent on the drive, and excellent at creating their own shots. So that's going to be play within your strengths and drive the basketball. It's going to be it's going to go a long way.
Yeah. You look at it. I mean, that's kind of recapped our 3 games, and I can't see any of these teams winning by more than 10 points. Like, I think this is going to be very close.
Yeah, I agree, and I hope so anyway.
Yeah, and it's good to see for you and I and the people that have supported us in building the league the way it is, and bringing in these parameters on how we draft and where the GMs sit and all those types of things, because it's made such a close competition, and it's going to be a huge night. There's going to be people there everywhere. I implore you guys to get down early, because we've obviously got the standard benches that we have there and 100 seats that are being brought in. So I think people are going to be hanging from the rafters left, right and centre.
Yeah, let's hope so. It should be a really good atmosphere to play in. It'll be... it's such a small stadium, and when you pack it out with people, the atmosphere is going to be pretty intense. Yeah,
and another a cool thing that we're going to have at the grand final is Tanea Phillips is going to have a table there for TEP clothing. So she's going to have a complete range of gear there to be sold on the night. So, bring a few extra dollars, because the gear's awesome.
Yeah, it's wicked. She's got some really cool gear.
I'm just constantly wearing it. So do yourselves a favour. Once you finish watching the episode, jump onto her website, have a really good look at what they have and what you want, and bring some dollars. And she'll be down there on the baseline somewhere with a table set up. Yeah,
I can't wait. It'll be cool. I might get one of her headbands actually.
Yeah, you'd suit a headband. you'd really suit a headband. That's it for the grand final night. But it doesn't kind of end there for us. We have our awards day the following Saturday, on Saturday the 15th of December.
Yeah, correct. So that's where we get together and get the whole crew together for a meal and celebrate the season that was, and also present our awards for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Steal of the Draft.
Yep, and we'll also... we're doing things a little bit different this year. We'll also be doing best on court for the grand final on the draft night.
Yeah.
So get down there. There'll be a few of other awards there, just to rib a few blokes, as we always do each year. There's a licensed bar. The burgers at Burgled,
they're pretty amazing.
They're fantastic. They're really good.
Wicked. So it'd be great to have everyone in the same room and have a laugh and a few beers with everyone. So
a bit of music going on. So get down there. Even if it's just for the awards, you got other stuff on. Poke your head in, have a drink, have something to eat, and have a good night. Good day, I should say.
And if you can, just jump on an RSVP. There's an event on our Facebook page. It's just going to help with staffing on the day, so that the Burgle don't get overwhelmed or underwhelmed with the amount of orders that they've got coming through the kitchen. So please jump on and hit attending or not going or whatever you want to do. But we'd appreciate that.
Very good. That's it.
We just want to also thank our sponsors for the season. I mean, without them, we don't have a competition. So,
100%. Not just our sponsors in Horn Industrial Coating, Choose Wealth, Lonsdale Street, TEP Clothing, Australian Printing Systems, and Taylor Teamwear, but like Dale said, these guys and these companies have been invaluable to us, continuing to grow, our company and our league in Southeast Super League. But the people that, week in, week out support us as well, volunteering their time. Dale's girlfriend Carly has been huge. My wife Kate has been huge. My kids have been huge. Mark Paxton, Ben Craven.
Our referees.
Love them or hate them, we have to have them. They've been fantastic. and just everybody that's helped out. Liam Blacker, he's been
absolutely
pretty solid. You know, like he's done the girls' competition, but anytime you see the stats go up on the website, you know, that's him. So
working hard.
You know, he's worked really hard for us, and just everyone out there. You know, initially at the start of the season, Ash Jensen was a big help to us. So we couldn't have done it with any of you guys, and probably all our players as well have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the players in the league, they've all embraced the concept, and you know, it is a bit different. You got to jump in with a team, and you might not know everyone, but I think as a whole, everyone's got involved and sort of embraced like all the new people that they've met, and a lot of people walk away from this season with a lot of new friends.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's really good to see. And yeah, you hear those people go, I didn't think I'd have this much fun, or you know, even in teams that didn't do, you know, that great in the wins-loss column, but that's really cool to see. And to touch on that, 2019 is going to be massive for Southeast Super League. We'll be back at it again early on in the year with our new domestic competition, which yeah, it's gonna be very different, and we'll touch on that with an episode early next year.
Yeah.
But it is going to grow significantly. But registrations will open tomorrow night for that as well. So for all the domestic guys, if you are someone that plays domestic basketball or hasn't played rep in the last 12 months, you're eligible to play, and I implore you, get on, register ASAP, because we've got a pretty large waiting list on the back of the 11 teams that we already have now.
Yeah.
You know, most of those guys are going to re-sign. So if you are watching it, you haven't played before, or you're an existing player, get on there and get it done.
Yeah, jump on it. It will fill up pretty quick. So it's certainly pretty critical that you jump on and reserve your spot, I guess.
Yep. Any other questions, hit us up on our Facebook page. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think we're good. Time for a beer. Thanks for watching, guys. All the best.
Thanks, guys.